So take me back to about a year ago, because I mean, it was December when some high-profile Canadian coaches were facing sexual assault allegations.
Yeah, when the news hit the wire, the community kind of erupted. People didn't know what was going on. It was quite unexpected. And there's just so many people talking in so many different silos. And so yeah, a couple clubs here in Calgary decided to get people together. Like, let's get together and let's talk about this. And we brought in some experts, someone from Respect in Sport groups, a police officer, someone who's in child advocacy. Like, we brought in people that could talk to us about this, because we just didn't know. We didn't know what this meant for our sport. Gymnastics is a beautiful sport, and we want to help it persevere through challenges like this. This is messy for sport in general and for gymnastics specifically, but at the core of it, having these conversations, Devin, that's a great step, because we used to not be able to.
Take me into that room, into that meeting. What was the feeling?
I think that change takes time, and I think there's just a lot of questions. Coaches were saying, well, I don't know how I can coach anymore. Everything I do, I feel like I'm going to be accused of, abusing a child or sexual assault. And so, but that's important to have those conversations, because then we can create the black and white areas. There is a lot of gray in this world. It's not until you start talking about it and figuring out what's right as a collective group and how to stand up. That was another big thing that came up, was like, what do I do if I see something? What do I do if I hear something? And so that answer wasn't quite clear at that point, and that's okay. You don't have to have the answers, but to have the question means you're going to start putting together the policies and the procedures to make it right.
You're a dad, you're an Olympic champion, you're a gymnastics club owner. You probably wore all those hats when you were imagining the type of space you wanted to create here. What did you have to consider knowing the climate that you were in?
I would say, even as a business owner, like, my business has evolved, and my policies and procedures and protocols have evolved through having these conversations. At first, if a coach would come into my doors, I would not have the same procedures. Now, I need them to do their Respect in Sport training. That was something I always had, but now it's like, it's a requirement. You can't be on the floor until you have it. Police check. Everyone has to get their police check done. But more than that, we do our reference check now. We do a couple reference checks, because I've heard through the community that sometimes coaches are being hired in facilities and reference checks aren't being done. And then that person ends up being someone that you don't really want to have on your payroll. My intuition spoke really loudly to me. As a business owner, I always follow my gut, and I'm like, I knew that we needed to have some things in place to give assurance to the parents. You can get a feeling when someone walks into your facility, for sure, but now I've got the black and white policy. It's like, this person has done their Respect in Sport, they've been police checked, and we've done reference checks, and that's all that I can really do at this point. But yeah, no, certainly the information wasn't there, but the great thing is, Devin, over the past year, I've seen the evolution of it. It's getting there. It's getting there. And things like that take time. Policy takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. You need to have the conversations, and you need to have all the players at the table to figure out what's best for the sport and for clubs.
If there was frustration and confusion about the role of a coach, where can I touch a kid? I don't want to coach anymore. Where is it now? Is there still a fear? I mean, your livelihood is in these walls. Mm-hmm. You hire one coach that gets accused of something, and you could lose it all.
That's a scary thought, and that crosses my mind. And we are doing everything that we can to ensure that we have the knowledge of what's appropriate, but also what to do if, sometimes when you're spotting a kid, you accidentally touch them on their butt or whatever it is. But to just say, hey, sorry buddy, didn't mean to do that. Are you okay? Yeah, we're good? Okay, awesome. Because what I've learned through all of my research and education is that, like, groomers, they don't apologize for it. Sport is it's an integral part of life, an integral part of community. You learn so much from sport as a person, and you take that with you beyond just sport. It becomes your life. I think gymnastics is going to get through this, and I think we're going to be a better sport. We're going to be a stronger sport. We're going to be a better educated sport, and there's going to be a lot more communication. There's going to be stronger policies and procedures in place, more than that, there's going to be an awareness. And with that awareness, we can extinguish all of that power dynamic and the stuff that people used to think was the way to get to the highest of levels.